Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here. This staff is here back together for our Special Forces World's Toughest recap of Special Forces World's Toughest Test back in week number 2. It's episode 3. And here with me, the woman who will never VW this podcast. We hope. It's Jenny Autumn. Jenny, how are you?
I'm great. I could never VW on you, Rob, but I might sneak out to have a cigarette outside a window.
Jenny, how do you think you're doing?
Ooh, I mean, I think mediocre, middle of the pack. If we were to arrange me in a row of people, just in general, not even podcasters, just people, I would probably be somewhere like lower medium. Okay. How do you feel?
Good answer. Just don't be showing off, okay? Don't be like doing like a backflip into the podcast.
Listen, I have bad knees, bad ankles. I don't even think I can do a backflip ever. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about that.
All right. Well, Jenny, Special Forces World's Most Cracked show is back for another week and a 1-hour episode, and still. I mean, last week, 4 people quit in 2 hours. I'm no Kenny Moore, but this week, 3 people quit in 1 hour.
I know. And, like, I really thought that, and we said this when we talked about it last week, like it was one of those things where it's like the first 24 hours is really going to like weed out people. And so it's maybe not super shocking that we lose 4 people in the first episode. But I think that like in this 24-hour period that was covered on this episode, because I think the last episode spanned 2 days.
Was a B.
It was, yeah. Day 3 really tested people. I don't know what it is about it, or if like people were just like, I just don't want to quit on like the first 1 or 2 days. I don't want to be one of the first to quit, but I will quit. I will not stay this entire time. I don't know what it is, but day 3 really wreaked havoc on this group, and we're down to almost half. Almost.
Yeah. Okay, almost half. Yeah, not quite. But yeah, just about, because that's how many people there are. Okay, so Jenny, let's just talk for a moment here. Special Forces World's Toughest Test. People seem to have liked the show. Seems to have been doing well in the ratings. I have some good news for us. Special Forces World's Toughest Recap, the world's #1 Special Forces World's Toughest Test recap.
Wow.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
We didn't get the world toughest recap moniker for no reason. Okay.
Yes.
Best in the biz.
Yep.
Top recap of this show.
Top recap.
Because we're the toughest.
Yes. And so we also have a brand new podcast feed. It's actually an old podcast feed from our Beyond the Edge podcast feed is now our Special Forces World's Toughest Test podcast feed. You can find it in Apple Podcasts when you go to robhaswebsite.com/special forces. We appreciate your feedback and your star ratings there for more on World's Toughest Recap with Rob and Jenny. Also,
don't
Jenny,
be too tough on the ratings though. Like I know we're tough. Yeah. Like we're the world's toughest recap, but like also I am a baby. So
Then Jenny, in Rob and Jenny podcast news, also it was announced on Wednesday that one of the other podcasts we did in 2022, Claim to Fame, is coming back.
What amazing news. I mean, we knew that it was possible because there was the casting call at the finale episode of season 1, and it seemed like when we spoke to Logan Crosby that he thought that it was probably going to happen, or he was excited about it. I don't know if he had inside track, but I don't ever know if we're ever going to get nice things. And I think easily of all the shows that we covered together in 2022, I think Claim to Fame was like the runaway hit, like
Yeah.
the most like solid front to back show that we covered. I don't think it was maybe necessarily like the most train wreck. That was the
No.
thing, is we started on a trajectory of like this, we cover bad shows together, like
Mhm.
train wreck stuff. And then
Sometimes
Claim to
boat
Fame
wrecks.
came. Yes, exactly. And then Claim to Fame came along, and we were like, oh my gosh, this is actually a good show.
Mhm.
So I'm happy because I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, first show that we have ever podcast together that has been renewed for season 2. So congratulations to Claim to Fame. We'll see if Special
Yeah.
Forces World's Toughest Test, no doubt, will be the second.
I think that it has
I'm
to be.
sure many other celebrities are lining up to go.
Yeah, they're watching
go
this and saying, "Please,
hang out with
me
Remy."
next."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all this the whole staff over on
That
Special Forces.
I really want someone to spit on me, whether intentional or not. That's what I want.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jenny, our headlines at this hour, 3 more of our Special Forces people are out. Jamie Lynn Spears
What?
within minutes of
I-
episode 3.
Did she make it even 3 minutes? She made it to day 3, but barely.
But
Like-
barely. But barely.
Like, it was. I was like, this is happening so quickly. Like the episode just started, and all of a sudden it's
Out.
like, okay, she's quitting, and then it just happened.
Yep. And there's never been anybody on the show that is like, "Oh, they might be quitting. They're back." Like this is not Beyond the Edge, where the whole show, people were on the edge of quitting the entire time, edging the whole way through.
Yeah,
This is like, I'm thinking about quitting. They're gone.
Yeah. I mean, that is just one of the many ways that this show differs from Beyond the Edge. But it's true. Like, the whole narrative of Beyond the Edge was, oh, I don't know if I can do it. I might quit. I might ring the bell. And like, they make a whole ass meal of, will I leave or not? And with this show, it's whiplash. Like, there are times where I need to, go back 10 seconds and make sure they actually left. I was like, I need to hear like the David Attenborough narrator say that they voluntarily withdrew, because if you blink, you might miss it. It happens so quickly.
Okay. And that was the case with Jamie Lynn Spears. She was gone. Somebody who we didn't really know a lot about in episode 1. One of the couple of people that was super purple at it in episode 1 got a big visibility spike, only to leave. Nastia Lukin?
Yeah.
Nastia.
Yeah, we saw like a little
Miss
bit of
Lukin,
her.
if you're Nastia.
Yes, exactly. If you're Nastia. Yeah, no, she kind of came in real hot in this episode. And also Gus, who I did not know was on this show. Like,
star of the show.
I don't think he was on the last episode, right? Like, am I wrong? I did not see this man before.
Yeah, they might have just like added him in.
I don't think he was there the first 2 days, actually. He
came in to bring some drama in. He was a plant.
He's the plant.
Gus
yeah,
definitely was not there. And then also a big shocker, because it looked like this was somebody who I thought like was going to be there the whole time. Mel B, who got a very like favorable edit the whole time through. Although I think that maybe a little one note in like really all of her confessionals were somehow like comparing this experience to her relationship with Eddie Murphy, which sounded not great. She had enough.
Yeah, and so the interesting thing was like when we were recapping last week's, I was like, is the marriage that she's referring to the Eddie Murphy marriage? Because I think she was with somebody else too. But then she like alluded to like it being like 10 years ago or something like that, or 7 years ago or something like that. And I was like, oh, then maybe time-wise that was Eddie Murphy. I don't know. I know that there was drama, but it's not very great news for Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, not great. Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
she's gone
I
too.
like you said, I thought she was sticking around. Like I
Yeah.
thought like she was going to be our like, you know, tough girl, makes it through the whole show. They
Jenny,
seem to very much like her, and like
we pulled an interview that Andy Denhart had. She said that the cast of Special Forces became tighter than the Spice Girls. She left on day 3.
okay, but how they presented this to us is, and it must have been a very big 3 days. I mean, look at how many people left. But so Jamie Lynn leaves within seconds of this episode, and then we get like a confessional type thing from one of the staff, Remy.
Yeah.
And he basically is insinuating like, what they know when someone's gonna quit, like they can see it coming. And then they show Mel B is like really upset about Jamie Lynn leaving, which I'm like, they were apparently besties. I didn't know. And then one of the other staff, I think Foxy, I don't know these people, was like basically insinuating the foreshadowing of when you get close to someone in these situations, it's like it's bound to happen. But if one of them leaves, it can be like a domino effect, and you can't make it without them, and then you also leave. And so they basically warned us in the beginning that it's like Jamie Lynn left and Mel B is not handling it very well for some reason. I didn't realize that they were that close.
Who knew?
Ultimately, Mel B lives at the end of this episode. So I don't know. I did not realize that these people were that close, but tears were shed when she was leaving. I think that this was probably like the most emotional exit probably that we've seen so far.
Yes, Mel B got the biggest send off, and actually the only one that was like a dramatic like send off. Everybody else was like a pretty like unceremonious send off.
And I also feel like it was very obvious that staff likes her.
Yes.
As we will hear throughout this episode, things aren't always fair. And I think that we are starting to see that the treatment and, how they feel about certain people is not equal. And I really do think that they handle.
Oh, do you have a problem, Jenny, with how much people are being treated on this show? Don't worry about it. That's not your concern. You're not here to judge how people are being judged by the judges. Your job is to watch the show and recap it.
Yes, sir. Yes, staff.
Don't worry about what they're doing if it's fair.
I'm sorry for being a Muppet.
You Muppet?
Listen, I just want to know that things are fair, and apparently that doesn't matter. They're all doing the same things, but pay no mind to whether it's fair. Very obvious that they favored Mel B in, like, they did not seem to make her feel like shit for quitting. So.
When Mel B like was smoking the cigarettes, like, Mel B has brought in contraband. She's done.
I know.
She's busted. She's busted. Where's staff?
Yeah, like I thought that was going to be the storyline, was that like she was gonna get in crap for bringing in cigarettes.
No.
And do you think that they knew
crap for making secondhand smoke be in the tent?
Like, she got more crap from Kenya than she got from staff. Like, do you think that they knew? They had to have known.
I think
that
Foxy
was just like, I don't care, whatever, Mel B, do whatever you want.
There maybe somebody was like, "Hey, listen, guys, Mel B's a draw. Like, go easy on her. Like, don't push the envelope. We need her. She's got a whole Spice Girls audience."
On this like cast, I think it maybe just depends on like what your world is, because there's a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
but I gotta think that she's like one of the biggest names on the cast.
One of the biggest names for sure. I mean, I feel like that Dwight Howard is is he the most well-known celebrity?
He's the biggest. Like, he's literally the tallest. So definitely like the biggest draw in terms of
people
height.
that are left. Yeah. I mean, I think Kenya Moore has a big following. Although
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you are like a reality TV person specifically, like I think that Kenya Moore is probably like a pretty big name. But like also like Dr. Drew? Like,
No, they
remember
don't care
he was
about
on the
him.
show? Like, is he
Yeah.
a big name? I don't know.
No.
I think that's the interesting
Maybe in
thing
like
about this cast.
1998.
Same time as Montel Jordan being also
Mhm.
uh yeah, like that's why this cast is kind of interesting though, because there's like a little bit of everything and
Something
then
for
a bunch of
everybody.
Olympians I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk through what the special forces recruits were up to this week. So, I guess right off the bat, Jamie Lynn Spears quits for
She
whatever
gone.
reason. It seems like then people want to quit, and then it's like Mike Piazza's job to get them not to do it.
Well, it seems like on day 3. So I think that this was Jamie Lynn's job on day 1. They have like a junior recruit and they're like the camp supervisor for the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if this is a thing. I've never gone to camp. But like they're like in charge of wrangling people and they're just like on duty. And so this seemed to be Mike Piazza this day and everyone had to like
Oh, it's his job
report
on
to
day
him.
3. Yeah.
Like I don't know if they just had to come to him and be like, just letting you know I'm quitting. Because we didn't
Mm-hmm.
see that process with any of the other quits.
Yeah.
Like there were 2 medical polls or 3 medical polls, I guess.
Well,
And then Tyler Florence was just like talking to staff and was like, I'm leaving. My
Jenny, I feel
wife.
like that Mike Piazza would be like the person that you might want to have on that job because as a
Mhm.
catcher, like one of his responsibilities is block the plate. Like don't let
Yeah.
a guy like don't let
No,
the
you can't
run
get it.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't. He tried, but I don't feel like he tried very hard. He was like, come on.
come on.
Come on.
Come back.
I think
You don't
you
want to
should
do this.
stay.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
if that effort translated to catching,
Yeah.
then I don't think that would be very good.
Okay. So there was some foreshadowing. Jamie Lynn left that she was tight with Mel B. We see Mel B crying in the loo
In the loop.
to start day 3.
Yeah. That's where you have to go to release anything, whether it's
Yeah.
tears or excrement. That is like the spot that you do
I gotta
it.
say, Jenny, I was a little uncomfortable with sort of like the co-ed
Oh my
shared
gosh.
bathroom timing situation.
Like, okay, so it sounds like they get bathroom break time.
Mm-hmm.
That's so messed up. Like if it were me, I would strategically be choosing to go to the bathroom at the time that like no one else would ever be there. Like
Right. Same.
I would go at like 4 in the morning. I would like ruin my sleep. Like
yeah.
if it meant that I was going to have privacy at the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like they must have like even when they're at camp have like a very small amount of time.
Maybe.
Unless they're all like on the same cycle, like
Maybe.
in terms of like their bowels and their bladders are working on the exact same clock because they're eating at the same time, they're drinking at the same time. I don't know.
There's a lot of like conversation also that happens while the restrooms are being used.
I mean, maybe they just do that because it's like awkward otherwise. It's like, oh, let's just like muffle like bathroom noises by like having a conversation. There's no hand dryer to turn on.
No. Maybe it's so hot out there. You just wave your hands a little bit and everything's dry. Okay. All right. So staff is worried about Mel B to start the day. They get her in there and they're like, hey, what's your problem? And she goes over the abusive relationship that she was in. And they try to pump her up a little bit.
Yeah, like it's very obvious that they feel good about her and think that she's going to make some good progress. And yeah, they're like asking like, are you intrigued to see how like far you can go? And she's apparently intrigued. But like she's literally telling them like, this experience is bringing me back to a traumatic place.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, how shocking is it if you have like trauma from a man shouting at you and like calling you names to be put in this situation where you are literally being shouted at constantly by like very intimidating like big men,
Mhm.
and they're also calling you names. It's like, yeah, I would think that maybe it's you should not be shocked that this woman is struggling. Like, I just think that it was wild for them to be like, oh, like, we're just going to force you to be in this traumatic, triggering situation and wonder, like, oh, what is it that you're facing that's like really troubling you? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're yelling at her.
Go put a bag on her head and bring her in this interrogation room.
Rob, I will never understand the bag.
Put the
Like,
goggles on her too. Put the goggles
it's
on the bag.
yeah, the goggles need to be on the bag.
It's just I think she could see something. Put the goggles on the
Yeah, we
black
gotta
bag
make
also.
sure that we gotta make sure she doesn't see this, like, waiting room that has nothing in it.
You know
It's
what?
just like a
Double
hallway.
bagger.
Yeah.
I think she might be able to see. There might be some light coming through.
She
Can't
might see
let her
this
see
dark
what
room.
this room looks like.
Yeah, this nondescript, like,
or what the
storage
hallway
area.
to get into this room
Yeah.
looks like.
And they tell her to sit down. Like, they don't take her bag off until
Yeah.
they seat her. It's like, at what point? Okay, she's in the room. She can look around
You know
and
what,
see.
Jenny, I think staff has like a really sweet setup. I think if I had to guess what's going on, staff has like a jacuzzi,
Oh, okay.
like sharper image, like massage chairs,
Yeah.
like they've got everything.
Do you
And just like put
we gotta
put the
hide
bag
it.
on her head. She can't
Yeah,
see.
she can't know how we're living over here. Do you
Like
think that
catering.
they're in the jacuzzi? Do you think they're also, like, smoking, like, big cigars? And perhaps
Mhm.
that is why they did not notice the cigarettes, because they
They
have
couldn't
their own
tell.
smoke going at all hours.
Smoke screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a literal smoke screen. Yes.
Let's talk about our big task for episode number
Ugh.
3. And so this is look, hey, sometimes you're going to be in a vehicle, you're going to get deployed behind enemy lines, and so we're going to put you in a car. We're going to submerge the car in the water for 20 seconds. You have to stay in the car. Jenny, would you be able to do this task?
Listen, I would never be on this show. I mean, first of all, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not even a washed up
Mhm.
celebrity. I'm no one.
Are you an
But
Olympian?
no, certainly not. I'm like
Hmm.
an Olympic wine drinker. No, I would never sign up to do this ever. But this task especially is nightmarish to me.
Yes.
I
Which
am
part?
also kind of claustrophobic. I have never really tested how long I can hold my breath underwater. Like, I spent like a fair amount of time in water as like a young person, because
Mhm.
I lived in an area with a lot of lakes. So I had a lot of friends that lived on lakes. So I spent a lot of time in water. I can swim. I've been underwater. I don't like it. I
Yeah.
don't it's not something that I would enjoy. And the car part of it is so stressful. Um because you're strapped in, like, they have a seatbelt on. They're literally in the car, and like they have to get their exit from the back, but like the car is like attached by a crane and
Yeah.
like is lowered slowly into the water. So it's like Last Gasp,
Mhm.
uh but way more terrifying. And no offense to anyone that has done Last Gasp, I would never do that either. That's terrifying.
Yes.
I just don't want to be having to hold my breath underwater.
Yeah.
But like, I think that the difference between this and like Last Gasp is, like, in Last Gasp, you are just you're just laying there. You're just kind of holding on, and the waves come and you just like kind of hold your breath and you just keep it together. This is like, they make this purposely like the most stressful situation. They're shouting at you, and you're in a car, and you have to wait for them to basically give you the go ahead to exit the car. It's
Mhm.
definitely a terrible situation. I am also claustrophobic. I would never do this. Would you do this?
So I would not want to do this, but I do feel like that of all the tasks they have done, I feel like this is the one I could do. Like,
So you
just
would
sit
rather do
there.
this than the jumping into the water?
Yeah, I think so because I can't see like just falling backwards. I don't know if I could just like just be like a statue and fall backwards. This
So
like
you're
20
worried about the
seconds.
form of the
Yeah,
okay,
I think
yeah.
I would. I think I would have a hard time just falling out of the plane like stiff as a board.
Right. So but with this task, really in order to
I don't have to
pass,
do anything.
all you have to do is wait.
Just sit there.
So you have the
Yeah.
patience of a saint. You could handle it.
It's 20 seconds. Like I think I could count
Yeah.
in my head 20 seconds. Okay, it's 20 seconds and then I'm going to swim out. I
Well,
think I
you
would be
didn't even
able.
have to count because they have
Yeah.
Foxy in the scuba situation, and he taps you on the shoulder when it's been 20 seconds to let you know you can leave.
Yeah.
But just to flex on them, when they are giving them like the introduction of the task, they're like, you're gonna have to hold your breath for at least 20 seconds. And they're like, to demonstrate, Remy's gonna do it for 90 seconds. It's like, okay.
Yeah, no joke.
Okay, Remy.
Okay. So the first person to go here is going to be a woman who we've never seen before. Her name is allegedly Carly Lloyd, is a person on this show.
Soccer
She
player?
is a former soccer legend.
Yeah.
Who played for the U.S. women's national soccer team for 17 years. She's up first.
And yeah, like this was our introduction to her, was that she is an illustrious, straight off they say, all right, well, let's get us started here. And what did she make it like 14 seconds before she was like, I'm out?
She's out. She's out.
I think the breath thing is like, and I was again trying to figure out what the strategy was, because it's like you want to like hold your breath, but you don't want to start holding your breath too early, I guess. Even though apparently like you should be able to hold your breath a lot longer than the 20 seconds. It's like if you start holding your breath too early, then you're behind. I don't know.
Yeah,
that
I think
seems
maybe
to be what
there's
happened.
like the timing of like the water is coming up and you might not realize at what speed the water is coming up. So you may miss time when to take your last deep breath. So Mel B had a question about her technique in this challenge.
Keep your eyes open, take a breath. What?
To take a breath through your nose or through your mouth.
You can take it through your ass, I don't care. If I'm not going to teach you how to breathe, you're a little bit too old for that.
Okay, so many insults. Like he basically says, I don't care what you do or how you breathe. Take it through your ass. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then
I can't do that.
Is that a thing? I don't know.
Yeah. I've never tried it.
I feel like that would not be good. Like I feel like if you get too much water up there, this is a bad situation. Like you're gonna need a longer bathroom break. But not only is he basically saying like, I'm not going to tell you how to breathe, he shades her by basically being like, you're too old for this. Like calls her old essentially.
Because he calls her old.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're too old for this.
You're too old for this. But she did it. In fairness to Mel B, she passes. Dwight Howard might have been too big for the car.
Yeah. every like instruction they give is like they're annoyed that they're having to give you any instruction, but like they act like you should have known this, but like they didn't know it. Like when Dwight gets into the car and like clearly his legs are like up too much because he's a very tall man, and they want him to like move his legs to the side, I guess to make it easier for him to get out of the car. But like the way they instructed him to do this, it's like they're pissed off. Like they're like,
they hate
I wish I had thought that you were big, like too big for this car. It's like, how is this Dwight's fault? Like he didn't plan this. Like they're just angry at everyone at all times when they're just telling them what they have to do. And Dwight's like, I don't know. Like,
who told you to be this tall?
Yeah. It's like, just, I know better than you. Put your legs to the side. It's like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm just getting into a car how I would normally get in.
Yeah. He's able to ultimately do it. However, Scaramucci and Mike Piazza in this challenge. Yeah. No good.
Like, yeah, massive fail.
Piazza jumped early.
I believe what Rudy said to Mooch was big fat fail.
Big fat fail.
Big
Yes.
fat fail.
Yes.
So
Big fat fail. He thought the Scaramucci thought he got a tap. He did not get the tap.
yes. I don't know who was doing the
'Cause I thought I got
gaslighting
the tap.
here.
Yeah.
I don't know what was happening here, but apparently the Mooch felt a tap. There was apparently no tap. He left too early.
No tap.
I think that's the best like defense though, is where you're like, oh, I definitely thought I felt a tap. Like I didn't run out of breath and panic. I thought I felt a tap. I miss. Oh, the water must have drifted over my shoulder and I felt a tap. Like that's the perfect thing to say if you effed up. Is just like, you can't say like, oh, I panicked and like I didn't want to, I couldn't do it. You say like, I misread the situation. I could have stayed down there forever. I just
this was
felt a tap.
easy. I just like left early. That was my only
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now, okay, so things are fine. Okay. But now the drama really will begin as another new person who has never been on the show before appears.
Never.
Her name is Nastia. We saw her actually back at the base camp that she was talking a little bit about packing her bag. And she allegedly has had an issue where she has fallen on her face
Yes.
doing the parallel bars. And she says that this injury has caused her to not be able to hold her breath. And basically, she has an excuse that she doesn't think she should do this challenge.
Well, the way that she's explaining it is like, I am aware of like how long I can hold my breath due to this injury. And also, like, I think that Nastia was like defensive from the start, where she was, I'm an athlete. I know how far I can test my limits, and I can hold my breath maybe 15 seconds, not in a panic situation. So this is probably not going to work out for me. And we hear this like outlined over the next bit that has nothing to do with fear. It is simply a physical limitation due to this injury where she like hit her face on a bar, which honestly sounds terrible. Like she looks good. It didn't mess up her face.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way that this unfolds is very interesting because that is the problem here, is that she's not scared. It's a limitation in how long she can hold her breath, which does that make sense? Like if you smash your face, like when that isn't it your lungs?
I mean, I don't know.
I need a scientist. Where's Liana? Get her on the phone.
Yeah, if you break the bones in your face, I don't know. Does that like are things like waterproof like one way, and then it's like, oh no, that bone got broken, so I can't hold my breath underwater?
Like maybe, and this is why what Mel B was asking might be a valid question. It's like, do I take the breath with my nose or my mouth? And that's the thing where it's like, if you're only trying to breathe through your nose and you've smashed your face and done something to your nose, it's going to limit your nose breathing.
Okay. So she's like, I can't do this. Remy says, look, I'll get in the car with you. Okay. I will sit shotgun and I will do this with you because I believe in you. You can do this.
Except they did not show us any of that. This is my issue with the show, is that
you're
like
Team Gus.
No, I'm not Team Gus. You're
on the Gus bus.
No, I am not on the Gus bus. Although I am intrigued by him as a character. I just like, they didn't show the actual interaction. It was just all of a sudden Remy was in the passenger seat and we were made to feel like that was an advantage. I guess it was because it's like an extra layer of protection in that, like, okay, well, if he's in the car with you, he's not going to let you drown.
Yeah, but everybody else had a scuba person
Exactly.
in the water.
Foxy is already down there. So it's like, so
Scuba Steve was down there.
How much of an extra advantage is just having another person? If anything, I'd be like, this is more space being taken in the car when I need to exit it. Like, you have to take, because they take the seatbelt off and then they have to exit through the back of the car. It was like an open, like Jeep type looking thing.
Yep.
So if anything, I feel like having Remy there would not make me feel better, because I'm like, you're in my way. Like,
yeah,
you're in
but
the
Remy
passenger
doesn't need
seat,
to get out.
out.
He can stay down there for a long time.
Yeah, but he's in the way.
But apparently, and Nasty is able to do it. But apparently, there was like a long time that it took for convincing, and this is when we start to meet Gus. And Gus
is a man.
Gus is a man who is on the show.
Yeah.
Gus also is an Olympian, and I was wondering, like, have these two crossed paths before? Like, are they exes? Like does Gus have such a hate thing for Nastia?
Yeah, like, I feel like if there has been drama leading up to this, they have robbed us of this, because it seemed like there was more beef that was bubbling before this even occurred, because he basically makes a comment where it's like, oh, like, she's talking about quitting again. So I guess, like, you know, the last thing they did, and I think we did see a little bit, we saw like a little bit of Nastia in like the last episode where she was a little unsure about, was it the walking, or oh no, it was the fighting. She didn't want to do the fighting, the red man, I guess. So
which I've heard from one of our listeners is real.
I mean, listen, we're learning so much. I know nothing about this world, so please forgive my ignorance. This is just,
we're all learning.
Shocking.
Yeah.
And terrifying at times for me as a viewer.
Yeah, and Jenny, and as a Canadian, you don't even know what do the Canadian Special Forces do?
I truly don't know. I don't know. Like, we're like, hey, America, if you need me, like, I'll come over. I'll bring the coffee. I'll bring the Timmy hose. I don't know. Like, I don't understand this world. I completely own my ignorance on this. It's stressful. Like, this is not a feel-good show.
Not yet.
Like, I know that they're teasing that it's like, it's about the journey and like pushing your growth, but like, it's a jarring show to watch, because it's like, you think that they're getting soft on these people for a second. You see how they're talking about Mel B. You see, like, you know, they're having these conversations like, you need to, like, you know, stop doubting yourself, and like, oh, this is getting really inspirational. And then it's like a switch is flipped. And like, they're shouting at you, and they're angry, and they're insulting you. And I'm like, oh, we're back to this. Like, this show stresses me out.
Yeah. Jenny, are you implying that being in the military is like being in an abusive relationship, where you are there are moments when you are cared for and feel like that there is like actual concern for your well-being, and then a moment later you are being screamed at and forced to do punishing and humiliating tasks?
Listen, I am not saying anything. I am simply presenting the feeling I'm getting from watching this and how I interpret this experience being for these people. And, you know, when they send them back to the real world, are they getting a therapist? Because I think that all of these people need one after this. I think all of these people probably needed one before this experience.
Yeah.
But I certainly think that they need one after this. And I am not certain that Fox is paying for that. Are they paying for it?
I don't know. Maybe it was all upfront. But Jenny, so Gus is like seemingly perturbed on how long it has taken Nastia to go. He's like openly belly aching about this. He's asking about using the bathroom because even though they were all supposed to go before, he's implying that when Nastia comes back that she took so long to do her thing that he needs to use the bathroom again because it was such a long day.
There was tension between these two, and that's why I feel like there had to have been something before this, because he said something like, do you think we're getting a bathroom break soon? And Nastia was the one that said like, oh, well, like they told us like we were supposed to go before.
Yeah, dude,
so,
why
like,
didn't you pee in the water?
Yeah, hello, a bathroom right there, my friend. Like, but so I felt like there was
Maybe he didn't have to
already.
pee. Yeah.
It wasn't until it's like getting into the car.
They do show
like,
him peeing later. Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, like I don't know. I just feel like there was something going on between them already, because he was already annoyed with her from the previous thing. He's like, oh, she always says she's not gonna do it, and then she does it, and like, but he also was acting like it's from a place where it's like, see, you can do it, like believe in yourself. But I actually think he's like he's quite annoyed. It's not just like, I wish you would just believe in yourself and just
he is annoyed.
Yeah, he's just annoyed with her.
He doesn't like her. Okay.
No,
and so, all
they
right,
have beef. Yeah.
let's go over who passed. That the drills are. What is the main guy that's yelling here?
The mean one that is traumatizing me on the daily.
Yes.
That would be Billy Billingsley or Billington.
Is that Billy Billingsley?
The guy with the grayish hair?
No, blue eyes.
Oh, blue. Is that Foxy? I think Blue Eyes is Foxy.
I'm not sure. I got maybe they made Foxy the star of the show because it's on Fox. And so Sam, let me see. Do you have the list of like who the staff is?
Remy, Rudy, and Foxy, and then Billy. I think that Billy is terrifying. Like,
yeah, but he's not the main guy that like calls people Muppets and buffoons.
No, I think he is. I think Billy's the mean one. He gets really mad at people.
Let me see. Because they have all the celebrities on the website, but I don't think they have pictures of who is who on in terms of like the actual.
So I think that Foxy does have blue eyes as well, which is why I'm confused. But I think that, I don't know. I feel like Billy was shouting so much during this. And he personally was upsetting me a lot during this episode.
Okay, let me see. Let's see. Okay, this is Billy. Yeah, I don't think that it was Billy. I mean, is that Billy? I guess maybe you're right. Maybe it's Bill. Bill Billingsley. Okay.
Yeah.
So
with the fake name.
Yes. All right. Anyway, so he's gonna be going through Mark Billy Billingham. Okay.
Wow. So reveal that it is a fake name, that he's called Billy because of his last name.
Yes. Okay.
Are his eyes blue? I'm trying to see.
Yes.
Now suddenly there's a picture of Brad Pitt. Why are we down here?
Well, because he's like maybe in some movies that are doing some of the things that are
Brad Pitt has played Billy Billingham.
Unclear. He has definitely played roles that are like him.
Would you choose Brad Pitt to play?
So Billy Billingham has provided protection to Tom Cruise when he was shooting The Last Samurai.
Okay.
Yes. Another time he has escorted Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, so he does like personal security.
I need you to see this picture of Billy posing with his book.
And
like the placement, I put it in the chat. I don't know if you've seen this photo.
Let me see. I could go ahead and present it here on the video. Yes. Okay.
What is with the placement of this book? What an awkward photo.
You feel like that maybe he is wearing like crotchless pants and that the book
What is happening in this photo?
Yes.
Like he's on a stool. And the book is right in the crotch, but like not in a natural way. Like he's not holding it up so that he can make sure it gets in the frame. He's like lowering it over his nether region.
Mm-hmm. I don't
What
know.
does this mean?
I'm not going to question anything that Billy Billingham is doing.
Billy Billingham, if you were listening,
Mm-hmm.
you have sufficiently terrified
He's good
me.
in my book. He's fine.
You know what? I will do whatever you say because I am legitimately terrified.
Yeah. Okay. So
Whatever you say.
he tells everybody, the people who failed, 5, 6, 8, you're failed. Okay. And so here comes Gus.
Comes the Gus bus.
Gus raises his hand. Okay.
Has anybody got any questions?
If your number didn't get called, you passed?
If you're going to ask a stupid question, I'm going to give you a stupid answer. Shut up.
Is
So
shut up
at
a
first
stupid answer?
I was unclear. I thought he was asking like, oh wait, but so am I good? Did I pass? But no, like this busybody is saying like, oh wait, so Nastia passed? Like she passed even though she had the guy in the car with her. That was passing.
I had the same thought, Rob, when he asked where he was like, I just thought that he was like, you know, kind of like the himbo of the cast and was just like giving us, you know, a fun moment where he's like, so if I didn't get called, does that mean I passed? Which like, obviously. And also, did they not hear them yelling at the people as they finished? Fail! Massive fail! You imbecile! Like, fail! Like, you have to know whether they passed or not. So none of this was a surprise, but I really think that Gus seemed to think there was some sort of asterisk next to Nastia because Remy was also in the car. And so he just wanted to be like,
Mm-hmm.
So that means if their name was not called, they passed, including her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So stupid question. Give me 20 push-ups. You idiot. Shut up. Don't ask any questions. And Gus is doing some push-ups.
Rob, if I was asked to do push-ups every time I asked a stupid question, I would be the buffest bitch in town.
Yeah.
Like and again, this is another reason why I would never need to test myself this way because I know too well that they would hate me. I am asking dumb questions all the time, baby. Like, that's me. I just want to make sure, you know? I'm just double checking.
You gotta find out for sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Am I good?
You know, they used to say there's no such thing as stupid questions, except on special forces.
Well, here's another thing that they used to say that special forces has seemed to challenge. So I heard in this episode that life's not fair and also war's not fair.
Yeah.
But I believe, is there not a saying, all is fair in love and war? What is it? Is it fair or is it not fair?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think that it's not fair, and if as long as you know it's not fair, then anything is fair.
So the lack of fairness is fair.
Yeah, because anything goes. That's basically
okay. If that's what that means,
in a weird way, I think they're saying the same thing.
Okay, yes, you've unlocked a piece of my brain, and now I understand it. But like on the
not
surface,
a stupid question. Do not do push-ups.
Rob, I would never. I love you. I will do most things you ask me to do. I will not do push-ups for you.
Fair for all like love
like
and war.
Love,
fair.
War, and life. Fair.
Jenny, I want to talk a little bit about then what happens next. And I'm not sure if this was a direct result out of the bad question that Gus asked, because then it seems like that Billy Billingham really was on one after this. He's like, that's it. All right, let's check your backpacks, okay?
He had a bee in his bonnet, like in a big way.
All right, we told you, keep everything waterproof. Where's your Bergen? Throw it in the water. That's it.
Is that what they're saying is Bergen? Is this a thing? Isn't that Tyson's daughter?
Yes.
Okay. Is it Bergen?
Called it a ruck. A ruck
yeah,
and a Bergen.
Like, that's the other thing is like these terms are all completely new to me. So again, me asking
Yeah.
all the dumb questions and saying all the dumb things. I
Yeah,
don't know what a
so
Birkin is. I don't know what a
Bergen
ruck
is
is.
a type of backpack, and I think like a ruck. I think it's short for like rucksack.
Okay. Well, I
Um,
mean, I'm the same person that in the first episode, it took me half the episode to realize they were saying yes, staff, because it sounded like two things: yes, dad, and yes, chef. Because
yes, chef.
I watched a lot of Top Chef.
Yes, I watched the menu this week
Yes,
also.
exactly.
Okay. So and apparently so inside of your Bergen, there's apparently like a dry bag that you're supposed to
Yes.
keep everything in. And
The
if you
things you want
packed
dry.
correctly, your dry bag should have been properly sealed. So they start throwing them all into the water, and then you had to go get your thing out of the water. But then here comes Gus. And Gus is he's trying to test Billy's last nerve because he does like a like 720 somersault into the water, and that's it.
Hey, Muppet! Did I tell you to do a somersault? You told me to get in. And did I tell you to turn into a circus performer? No, I didn't, did I? You're gonna pay the man for that. Best believe.
Remy busting in. He's like, "You're gonna pay for that one."
You're gonna pay the man for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I guess the man is Billy.
Yeah. In fairness, did he actually have to pay for that? It wasn't like he like get out of
He
the water,
didn't.
do 4,000 push-ups.
No, they did make him do, I think, another 10 push-ups while they were doing, when they got them back out of the water.
Yeah.
Before they checked the Bergens or the
10
rucks,
push-ups.
They'd made him do another 10 with his bag on.
I mean,
So
10
it was
push-ups
like,
is not like
but with that heavy wet bag, I feel like that would be
mhm.
pretty crappy. But
I guess so.
but yeah, they were like, and for that funny business you pulled, you got to do another 10 push-ups with your Birkin on.
All right, we're not playing games. And then they check everybody's bag. And it was hard to tell as a viewer what was wet and what wasn't wet. They were just like throwing things around.
If they shouted and threw something, the assumption was made that it was wet.
Yeah, they get to Dwight Howard. And Dwight Howard, I guess, had stuff that was wet. And then I guess he made a face. And they are on Dwight Howard's ass.
Oh yeah, they do, because they have a, like, I mean, they showed us the article. Like they are going in with a preconceived like notion about Dwight Howard and his attitude, which I think is like maybe not fair. You know, well, again,
not fair.
I guess I should stop talking about fairness, because the not fairness of it all is what's fair. He I guess he had like one tiny thing in his bag that was wet, and they asked them to, like, the people that didn't have anything wet were supposed to come forward, and Dwight started to walk forward, and they're like, "Hey, did you see this little towel? It's wet." And understandably, this man is frustrated. He's like, "Oh crap, that tiny little thing is wet." And then he turns around, and they do not like it. He shook his head a certain way. And so now this man is on the list.
Yeah, he's on the list. And so he's got to lose the attitude, Dwight Howard. Enough of you. Okay.
They also like insinuated that they were going to like beat Hannah Brown. Did you catch this part?
Oh, wait, why is she laughing? Why are you laughing?
Okay. So he goes, "That's a wet towel in it." And Hannah is like smiling because she's one of those people that like smiles when they get nervous, which completely understandable. This man is shouting in your face, and it's awkward. I think that you would, I don't know, not the weirdest thing. But then they interpret this as like her not taking things seriously and making a joke of it. And then, like, I think it was Billy, because if at any point someone was shouting, it was probably Billy. And he's like, "You better like wipe that smile off your face, or I'll do it for you." I'm like,
"Yeah,
sir, did you just say you were going to slap this woman? Because is this sanctioned?"
Maybe he just meant it like as a figure of speech.
I can only hope.
Maybe he was like gonna like grab her like face and like make her like not be smiling.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know which one of them. It was Rudy maybe, or someone grabbed Nastia's nose and made her hold her breath.
They were showing her she could hold her breath.
I know, but like they just grabbed this woman's nose and said, "I'm gonna hold this, and you show me how long you can breathe."
Yeah, see?
So I don't think they're against touching these people's faces.
Maybe that was in the release that they signed.
Yeah, I want to see this waiver. Like,
yes,
this has to be the wildest thing that anyone has ever agreed to.
I think this was Remy also, that he's like a big, he likes to come in and he's like, you want to go back to that freedom bird? You want to go back to your Instagram followers right now?
I need to go and actually
Where are you? Where are you, Hannah? It's been 3 days.
You haven't posted. Are you still promoting flat tummy tea?
We miss you.
We need you. And, like Jamie Lynn had to go back to her children, Hannah Brown needs to go back to her Instagram followers.
Yep. Okay.
No, this is a drum that they love beating. You want to go back to Instagram?
You want to go back to your TikTok filters right now? You want to go back to your Facebook story?
Which is the same as your Instagram story because they're owned by the same company, but you need to watch them on different platforms.
You all want to go back to your Be Real front and back photos?
Can you imagine what reactions you'd get if people saw what you were doing right now?
Yes, you want to be real? We're being real right now.
This is what happens when people
stop being polite
and start being real.
Okay. Jenny, didn't they hop in the car and then they had like food? Where did they get food from?
It's
like pasta.
I don't
salad.
understand what goes on.
What the hell was this?
I don't know, but Gus all of a sudden was just in the middle seat.
It's like, oh, lunch. Okay. Like, was that in their bag? Was that in their bag? Did it not get wet? The pasta?
They had gherkins in their Birkins.
Yeah. All right. Meanwhile, back at camp, Mel B has brought in contraband. She's got a carton of cigarettes and she's not sharing them.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We've seen people go on to Big Brother that are smokers. And, they're going through a stressful situation where they have nothing but time to smoke cigarettes and they slam through their cigarettes very quickly. If Mel B is truly a smoker in her regular day life, it shocks me that it took her 3 days to pop those things out. Like, that is the true test. Maybe that is why she quit. She's like, you know what? It took me to day 3 for me to need a cigarette. And that is the true test. Because I couldn't believe it. I was like, just now you're pulling out the contraband.
Maybe she knew she was going. She was like, all right, I'm gonna get some cigarettes
or
in
maybe,
before I leave tonight.
Do you think that she was trying to get like taken out?
Maybe she thought that maybe they'll kick me off for smoking. But
that's
we'll
like
get
a
back to
badass
MLB.
thing. It's like, oh, like
Their currency and special living. Yeah.
I got suspended for smoking.
All right. Well, let's go back to Nastia. Okay. So it was a little Nastia that Gus and Nastia were having this bathroom conversation during prior to Nastia's elimination from the competition. During elimination, her and Gus were having a conversation, and they're talking about how everything went. Nastia tells Mel B she wants to leave. She has one last conversation with Gus. She tells Gus that she's leaving. She tells Mike Piazza. He's like, nah, don't do it.
Come on,
just stay.
I mean, to be fair to Nastia, like, Gus was definitely like pushing this woman because he called her the boy that cried wolf because he's like, you just keep saying you're gonna quit and then you do it.
You never even do.
Okay.
Okay.
But clearly, like,
She called
Nastia
his
is
bluff.
internalizing this like fairness thing because from the moment she finished that task, she was like, it doesn't, like, everyone's like, you faced your fear, like you did it. And to a degree, I understand where she's coming from because it's like, it sucks being treated with kid gloves. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's like, it feels a little condescending when people are like, wow, you did it. But at the same time, like, sometimes people are in situations where like they need a little extra help, and that's okay. But she's clearly very upset by how they're reacting to this whole situation because she was immediately like, it wasn't fear, but this doesn't count because I didn't do it the same way that everyone did. And then Gus basically calls her bluff and is like, yeah, you didn't do it the same way that everyone else did. And that basically triggers her where she's like, okay, well, I'm causing dissent in the group because I didn't do things the way that other people did. And that seems to be like the straw that breaks the camel's back for Nastia, where she's like, I'm getting out of here.
And so she's gone. All right.
She's gone. She's gone.
Tells Mel B, stay strong. Mel B maybe didn't hear her.
A couple hours she lasted.
We'll get back to Mel B. All right. Staff is like, get Gus in here. What is this guy's problem? Get him in here. Gus, get in here. And they summon Gus and they bring him in the black bag. And they got a question for Gus. A simple question.
I think for the most part, I'm doing well. I'm hustling when I'm told to.
How are you doing, Gus? How are you? The question was for Gus. How do you think you're doing? Okay.
I think for the most part, I'm doing well. I'm hustling when I'm told to run. I'm trying to lead the pack. I'm helping people load their backpacks.
What the was he jumping off the side for? What was that about?
They want to hear none of that. Enough of what you do. You did a somersault. What was that about? Do you think this was the point where he got spat on?
Yes, because they will ask him later on, how did it go? How many F-bombs did you get?
You got F-bombs.
Oh my God, I got full F-bombs. I had spit hit my face from Blue Eyes.
Not the blue eye spit. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, he got spat on, for sure. I have in my notes, they chewed him the F out. For sure.
They did.
Yes. That basically that your stupidity, it's gonna get you killed out here.
Which, is that a threat?
No, I mean, I think they're like, if this was really serious stuff, like if this wasn't celebrities on a reality show, yeah, ideally
this is
you
a
would
real
not,
deal.
yeah, a recruit would not. Are we sending these celebrities out on a mission soon?
I don't know. Rob, I have no idea what's happening here. I thought we were getting soft, and then it got real hard. Like, I don't know. And the shouting happened, and it was very, very, everything was happening. Yeah, they were specifically, so he was like trying to explain like why he asked. So I think that he thought what they were mad about was the stupid question when he asked, oh, if your name wasn't called, does that mean you pass? When he's trying to explain, like, I thought that meant that, like, I was frustrated about Nastia, blah, blah, blah. And then like he gives this like full explanation of like why he asked that question and why he was frustrated in the moment. And they're like, that part doesn't matter. You did a somersault. You could have broken your neck. Like that was truly the upsetting thing, was the somersault. Like I've never seen people more angered by a somersault in my life. I mean, this broke them.
The key to being in this battalion, and this is also true for pledging a fraternity. That's my closest experience to having to this. I guess maybe like being on Survivor is you don't want to stand out. You want to be middle of the pack. You don't want to do anything to call attention to yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what he was showboating. So
Showboating.
yeah.
You know, for Dwight Howard, unfortunately for him, he's just like taller than everybody. He can't help but stand out.
Yeah.
Gus is doing things on purpose to stand out. You know, doing the worst in the challenges makes people stand out. But that's really the key to success in the show. That nobody is doing it better than Kenya Moore,
Yeah.
whose name has not come up.
They called her a warrior
Mhm.
at one point, and that's it. She
And
seems to
Danny
be doing
Amendola.
well. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Perfect.
he's there
They're
too.
winning. They're winning.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
there's no winning. The only win is a personal gain, Rob. Okay.
I guess so.
There's
Okay.
no prizes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Why are you here, Gus? It's like, I don't know.
And he's like, yeah, he wants to be brought down to earth. I'm like, oh Jesus, you
Mission
certainly-
accomplished.
Yeah, I definitely shouldn't be doing somersaults.
I've
if you
got
wanna be brought
nowhere
down
else to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess like his career is over, and he's like, I need to torture myself.
This
I
is
don't know.
it for me. Yeah.
He's like 30. He's like,
Yeah.
your life is like ahead of you, sir. But okay.
So he has also appeared on Will and Grace, Olympic Dreams, Drop the Mic, The Challenge, and Coming Out Colton. He has a connection with Colton
Oh my
Underwood.
God, Beyond
He's
the
also
Edge.
been a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, Top Chef, and Beat Bobby Flay.
Oh my gosh.
But
not anything Tyler Florence has done. Just
yes,
Bobby Flay.
I mean, and Kenworthy resides in Los Angeles with his partner Adam and their dogs Birdie and Frank.
Okay, like I did not. Again, I'm not a big Olympic person. I did not know this man even
Mhm.
before this episode because they did not show him last week.
Mhm.
But apparently he's been on a ton of shows. He's been
Yeah.
on Will and Grace.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, Gus. Look at you, Gus. All right.
Are you on the Gus bus? How do you
yeah.
feel?
I'm on
He's
the Gus
a fun
bus.
character.
Look,
Yeah.
he's entertaining me.
He brought drama. I thought the Olympians were going to be boring because I thought that they were going to be the people that are like, we're here because we are physical and we want a different way of testing our physical limits.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the messiness was going to come from your reality TV people and like the random people that you're like, why are you here? But
Yep.
no, the big drama of the episode was from the two Olympians. I'm shook. I couldn't believe it.
Yep. Okay. So then after all that, Gus goes back. He's like, oh yeah, they yelled at me. Mel B is smoking. She
Smoking again.
wants to leave. That's it. Mike Piazza says stay. But Kenya Moore says to her something like, hey, it's getting a little smoky in here.
Yeah, so she's smoking outside the tent, and I guess at first I thought Kenya was like, oh no, she's smoking again, like she's gonna get in trouble. But it seemed that Kenya was upset because she could smell the smoke because it was like wafting into the tent. And the one thing I noticed is that like Kenya calls her Melanie, like everyone else calls her Mel, or like the narrator is like Spice Girl Mel B, like you will never forget that this woman is a Spice Girl because that's her title. But yeah, Kenny is like, Melanie, please. Like, and this seems to be the thing. This was the breaking point for Mel where she was like, I can't even smoke my cigarette in peace without someone getting on my back. I'm done.
Yeah. And Kenya was like, wait, I made her quit? What?
And they were like, no. She was having a day
anyway.
Like she was smoking for a reason.
Yeah. So they take her to staff. She wants to VW, and she's the only person that they were like, "Hey, you did good. You did good, kid."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, okay, they clearly liked her. Like, I think it was Foxy, and they sit down, like they have like a conversation. They're like, you did a good effort. Like, okay, I feel like no one else got that grace, but it also seemed like Mel was universally beloved by the cast, so maybe that's just how it is. She's just likable. You can't help it.
She can't help it. We can't help it. And but Mel B is gone, and we get down to now 7 people are gone. According to Kenya Moore, like, wow, I can't believe it. half the people we started with are gone.
And
Like,
someone had
well-
to chime in. 55%.
Yeah, well, not really half. Only like and then Scaramucci was like, yeah, I think it's 55. I don't think it's 55%.
I don't think so either.
Mhm.
Nothing worse than a well, actually, you know? Well,
actually.
like, okay, it's close enough. We're down to almost half. Like, I'm
Yeah.
struggling right now. Don't call me on my math.
Mhm.
We're in this together.
Yeah.
I thought we were a
So,
team.
yeah, it's a 56.25% Scaramucci. So,
So
yeah, I hate to
you
pull
rounded
Voce on
down
you. Yes.
like a little too much,
Mhm.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mooch, Mr.
Yeah.
Purple.
Mm.
What? This is wild. Okay. Almost half the cast has quit.
Yeah.
None of those people have been Anthony Scaramucci.
Yeah.
And also, he is like one of the quietest presences on this show. Like, what is going on with this show?
Maybe he needs the money. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I
But he
think
had a
that,
lot of money.
I think that this show would be so much better if these people really needed the money,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which is
Well,
so
Jenny,
messed up.
yeah, that this was a very interesting, at least second half of this episode.
Oh yeah, it started off a little sleepy, and then it picked
Mhm.
up pace, and it held, in my opinion.
But-
I'm sure that my like heart rate and my pulse was off the charts because this is apparently a stress watch for me.
Mm-hmm. So my question is, if the celebrities are not going to be screwing up though as
Mhm.
much, will this be as exciting?
I don't think so, but I also think that these the staff will find a way to be mad about something.
Mhm.
They are loaded
They're
up
experts.
with insults. You
Yeah.
know, like you're a muppet, you're a buffoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you.
You're
There,
a
I want to
Muppet.
see. I want to see what's next. You're a
Mhm.
circus performer. Like
You're a clown.
yeah, you were a top dog.
Yeah,
now
a real,
you're
a real
clown.
Daniel Durston out here.
Yeah. Oh my
You're
God.
all a
Oh,
bunch of
don't summon
clowns.
him.
Yes.
I would love to see
Season
these
just
men
got
torture
boring.
Daniel Durston.
Send him.
Daniel Durston for Special Forces World Toughest Test season 2.
Mhm.
And it's just him, and it's just these guys just berating him
Mhm.
and making him jump into water.
Okay.
The stupid hair.
Anything from maybe they have to shave his head for him to go to the Special
Perfect.
Forces.
Please.
Was there anything of interest from the preview for next week? It looked like Scaramucci.
Yeah.
they're
Does
gonna,
Mooch
like,
die? That's
May-
in my notes. Does
haven't heard
Mooch
that.
die?
Yeah.
It looks
I think we'd know if he died.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But they showed a shot of him plummeting from a cliff.
Yeah, maybe
And
they hit the
it
brakes.
looks like he's about to land on like
Seems like that somebody screwed up
camera
here.
angle
Yeah.
or something, but it looks absolutely terrifying. And someone's like falling. There's explosions. I don't know.
Okay.
It looks
We'll be
just
here.
as insane as the last two.
Okay. Any other thoughts on Special Forces World's Toughest Test?
Not really. Just that. What a ride this is.
What a ride.
Did you see the TMZ article about Hannah Brown?
No.
Her world's toughest test of this experience was bunking near Dwight Howard, who is apparently a very gassy human.
Yes, Hannah Brown says that Dwight Howard was a fart machine on Special Forces show. So
I'm just
is it
a
possible that
fart
he
machine.
was is it possible that he breathes out his ass? Is
Yes.
that possible?
That's all he's doing. He's just breathing out of his ass.
Yes. Okay. Here, let's go to this report from courtesy of our friends over at TMZ Sports, who has the report.
It's sports because it's about Dwight Howard.
It's sports because it's about Dwight Howard. So here we go. TMZ Sports is reporting this this latest news here. Let me see if I can pull this up to play here on the podcast. Just give me 1 second for this. Okay. And here we go. All right. So Hannah Brown says Dwight Howard is a fart machine. Okay.
I'm gonna ask you about Special Forces.
Sure.
I watched last night. You're amazing.
Thank you.
That looks incredibly tough. How tough was it? Did you get to breaking point?
World's
It's
toughest.
probably tougher than like it can ever be captured on camera.
Really?
Yeah, it was incredible, but like incredibly challenging in every way because there's no break.
There's no break. And then even when you go back to your barracks, that also looks a bit awful.
That was probably the worst part for me.
Oh, really? What were
I
the
would
living
rather
conditions?
do task all day than stay in that barrack.
Why? Why was it so bad?
Well, Dwight Howard was across from me farting the whole time.
That's hilarious. That was the worst part. It's toughest.
No, but I mean, yeah, the bathroom situation. It was like 108 degrees inside. It was a lot. Like,
What was the
while we
pooping?
slept.
What was the pooping situation like?
It was like
So you go to the airport and you just like I'm just trying to like I just
I'm
got
just
off
trying to board a
plane.
flight. Yeah.
Well, tell me tell me about the pooping.
Tell me about the pooping. Tell me more about the farting and the pooping.
Tell me more about personal details about where you go to the bathroom.
Yeah, please tell me about fecal matter.
Mm-hmm.
And how much did Dwight Howard fart? Like, would you say?
Tell me more about
Constantly?
Dwight Howard's farts.
What did it smell like?
Yes. Like why do people get to ask these questions?
That's just what I was saying. I watched this and I turned to Phil and I was like, what are they doing? This is so like imagine just like I'm just trying to fly to Texas and this man is asking me about a basketball player's farting habits and the pooping situation.
Who else's farts can you tell us about?
Rank the farts. If you had to line up everyone's farts from strongest to weakest.
What about Mel B? Would you say that she had a scary spice?
Was it nutmeg? Oh my god.
it was like a bucket basically with flies.
And so you had to go after Dwight Howard and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
How awful. Do you think you could do it for real? Like if you had to do like a week of surviving some situation, could you pull it off?
I think maybe. I don't know. We'll see. You have to see how I do.
Man,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Hannah. See you later.
She's like, please leave me alone.
Please never bother me again.
I'm so glad I have to board this plane at this moment. I've never been so excited to board an aircraft. Get away from you.
Okay. Look.
Anyway, Dwight Howard, a fart machine, according to TMZ Sports.
According to
Hannah Brown.
Yes. Okay. Hannah Brown is reporting Dwight Howard fart machine.
I mean, to be fair, she did not say the words fart machine, but listen,
Yeah.
journalism is journalism, baby.
Yeah. Well, maybe Dwight Howard should be able to discuss what Hannah Brown's farts smell like.
Yeah, I want the the reply. I want to know. I want to know the Hannah Brown blend.
All right.
Okay.
That's going to do it for us here today.
That's it.
That's it. This was the last episode of the podcast.
Yeah, we're done.
Yes. Okay. Jenny,
so
what's coming up
sorry.
for you?
This was the world's toughest recap. And
did you see also that then I think Britney Spears
Britney
had something
Spears
to
was
say.
also talking about Jamie Lynn being like,
she was mad. I think she was upset about something that Jamie Lynn Spears did. She hit back at Jamie Lynn Spears for crying about hardships on TV after everything that Britney went through.
Because her family was like terrible to her, I guess. And so I think that Britney did not take kindly to the fact that like Jamie Lynn was being like, it's hard having a famous sister.
Okay, so according to BuzzFeed, Britney Spears hitting back one more time at Jamie Lynn Spears for crying about her hardships. I don't know what happened.
Oh my God, where is the story?
I think I went back to the BuzzFeed homepage.
Okay.
And
Here
so Britney Spears says she has no time for Jamie Lynn Spears' latest comments about struggling to live in her shadow. If you missed it, The younger sister of Brittany went viral last week after speaking out about the pop star on the challenging Fox series, World's Toughest Test, Special
It's
Forces.
challenging.
Yes. Okay. Jamie Lynn, the font is like 20 point on this BuzzFeed article. Jamie Lynn and Brittany's notoriously complicated relationship has remained in the spotlight over the past few years, namely since Brittany called out her sister for alleged silence and complicity during the conservatorship. Brittany condemned her entire family before the judge in court, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's it. But let's get to the new stuff. What did Brittany have to say about it? Okay. Brittany made a post and she said, congratulations on being so brave, inspiring, and showing guts and glory in your show. You ain't alone. If anybody knows what you feel like, I get it, my baby sister. I love you. However, that was leading up to the show. And then after that, she said, okay, this is what Jamie Lynn had to say. Boy, this article is like they say a picture tells 1,000 words. This is like 1,000 photos and like 12 words.
Yeah.
Okay, Brittany wrote in an Instagram caption that has since been deleted, seemingly referring to why she also doesn't speak out about Jamie Lynn and the other members. She said, boy, this is a novel.
Yeah.
Are we really going to say it was hard being my sister? Question mark, question mark. Really? Was this my spa plan at Vegas as a child, as my childhood friends had their heads held high with a seat for toes and nails and a bottle of champagne for each of them while I stood at the door, not allowed to go in? But bet your bottom dollar they can be gotten their entertainment from me that night. I've learned I mean, maybe like
I think it might be cut off or something.
No, I think that Britney Spears is just like rambling on social media.
Like keyboard warrioring.
Yeah.
At this time.
Like I think that like these Britney Spears Instagram posts are like not unlike when you read like check out this what Trump had to say on Truth Social.
You're gonna get comments for that.
From who? From who is the question. I've learned from the best. Do we dare set aside our self-care and acknowledge a childhood friend? Why no? We teach her the meaning of mean and then throw her away in the end with no self-rights. You want me to share it on telly? I'd rather spit in their faces and trash them on Instagram. You want to go back to your Instagram, Brittany? So, whole thing.
Yeah. I don't understand this. But it seems that she felt it was not fair of Jamie Lynn to act like she had it hard.
Fair.
Listen, all is fair in the not fair war.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've learned, at least. So,
all right, there you go. Jenny, what's coming up for you?
Waiting to see what Billy and the gang have for us next week. I'm looking for fresh insults.
They're coming.
I think I will be disappointed if we don't get a mention of Instagram in every episode. So that will be what I'm on the watch for next episode, is that they will remind us that. Do you think they're sponsored by Meta? Like, do you think that maybe they're getting like, some payment for every time
Meta
they
World
mention?
Peace?
Yes. Oh, what I would give for this is what's wild about this show. Like, I bet you Meta World Peace would come on this show and stay the entire time and we wouldn't hear a thing from him.
He might love it. There's no animals.
Yes, except for flies in the poop buckets, apparently.
Yeah, that's it.
So.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, that's all that's going on for me, and just living and loving life.
You're living. Okay.
I'm living.
Okay. All right. But this is such a busy week here on Robin's podcast. Between I covered all of a brand new show on Netflix, which is called Pressure Cooker. Have you looked at any of that, Jenny?
This was recommended to me, and I actually think that it sounds like something I will enjoy.
Yeah, check it out.
So I'm planning to check that out. It's
We
all
did
on
a
Netflix,
two-parter on Nothing But Netflix. It talked about we did the first and second episode with Chappelle and Haley Strong, and it was so good. We said we got to finish the series. It's only 8
I
episodes.
saw that you did that. I didn't know you did. Finished it off.
We recorded it. We haven't posted it yet. The back half of our pressure cooker recap coverage. Not to mention Thursday and Friday. It's going to be the big Traders telethon we're going to be
Bonanza.
we're going to be
I'm ready for this
all day. This is our world's toughest test for myself and Puya Zambakili because
this is starting tomorrow, right?
Thursday and Friday we're going to be getting together for all day binge podcasting 10 episodes of Traders across 2 days. Every couple of hours we'll be back with another recap of Traders as the entire series drops on Peacock. I'll be back with week 3 coverage of The Circle. And Jenny, I'm going to announce here for the first time, haven't said this yet. You and I are going to get back together in between now and then. Now in Special Forces next week.
Oh, so cheeky. I didn't want to mention it because I didn't know I didn't know what the word on the street. I didn't know if we could share.
Should we tease it?
No, Rob.
Okay. Well, all right. We got a big event coming up on the Learning Channel. There's a new
learning here.
There's a new documentary dropping this Sunday night at 10 p.m. on the Learning Channel. TLC if you're nastia. And we are going to be Jenny's going to be part of an all-star panel coming together to recap episode 1 of the new documentary series MILF Manor.
This is a dream come true for me.
Well, MILF Manor Know-It-Alls starts at 11 p.m. Eastern Sunday night.
Brew some coffee because we're staying up late for these MILFs.
Yep. Okay. So all that and more. Make sure you subscribe to Rob as a podcast for amazing coverage like this. Go to robaswebsite.com/subscribe and leave us your feedback and star ratings on our new Special Forces podcast feed at robaswebsite.com/special forces. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.